Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Tour Operators Margin Scheme, or TOMS for short, why this is so important, why you guys need to know about it, and how using this scheme you could potentially be saving yourself thousands of pounds off your tax bill. So the Tour Operators Margin Scheme was originally brought in 1977 to help simplify the VAT requirements for companies that had businesses across multiple different European countries. If, for example, you were a travel agent operating in the UK, you might have guests coming and staying in apartments that you're renting all throughout Europe, could be 10, 12, 15 countries. And before TOMS, you would have to apply for VAT in every single one of those countries. Now, the TOMS scheme allows you to pay VAT in the country where you're established, so you'd only need to set up one scheme here in the UK. And the big difference and the big reason why TOMS is so important for us to know as travel operators ourselves is that you only pay the VAT on the margin. That's the difference between the amount of rent that you pay to your landlords in these various countries and the price that you charge your guests, which is a much lower difference than paying it on the whole gross amount. So therefore, this could save you thousands and thousands of tax if it would apply to you. So if you're operating a rent-to-rent business in the UK, you might be eligible for the TOMS scheme. And this has several benefits, really big benefits for your business. If you're a small operator, it allows you to make a greater overall revenue before VAT applies, and it has a huge advantage. Very quickly, VAT could apply to your business on the gross revenue. Usually in the UK, you have to pay VAT on your gross revenue when it gets above £85,000 gross turnover per year. However, with the TOMS scheme, if you can offset all of the costs for renting a property off a landlord and using it for Airbnb and Booking.com, that means you can make way more profit before VAT applies. It's a huge advantage. And if you're a much larger operator and you're paying VAT already, that means your VAT bill is massively reduced. However, there is a bit of a problem, because the scheme, as you have already know, is called the Tour Operator Margin Scheme. And the question and the debate around the industry is, are people doing rent-to-rent in the UK classed as tour operators, or are we running a different type of business with a different set of VAT rules? And this has been the thing that's been holding a lot of people back from entering into the scheme, because they're unsure whether or not HMRC are going to chase them and claim for much higher tax bills than they're actually paying. So the reason I'm making this video today is because actually one of the largest rent-to-rent operators in the world, Sonder, have been taken to court by HMRC because they have been applying for this TOMS scheme for their European arm. They've got a European branch called Sonder Europe Limited, and because they thought they were eligible for the TOMS scheme, they've been applying for this for all of the properties that they are running. Now, HMRC have found out about it, taken them to court, and now it's gone to a first-tier tribunal to assess who's going to be in the right or the wrong here. And the outcome of this decision is going to have a massive effect on everybody running rent-to-rents here in the UK and in Europe as a whole. Now, what's been holding people back, as I've spoken about already, is the fear that exactly this would happen. If you're an operator and you were applied for the TOMS scheme, HMRC did not like it and wanted to try and claim that money back, you could owe them a lot of money. So the outcome of the court case, this first-tier tribunal, really does have a relevance to what is happening with all the rent-to-rent operators in the UK at the moment. Now, we found out last week that Sonder were successful in their case, which is fantastic news for all of us. And one of the reasons and one of the concerns that operators have, which means that you will be ineligible for the TOMS scheme, is that you made material changes to the property. However, the tribunal viewed that painting and decorating and furnishing the property was not a material change. Therefore, the TOMS scheme still applied to Sonder, and therefore any of us doing rent-to-rents in the UK should also be allowed to do the same. So you can use this as a test case to argue against HMRC, saying, hey, if they've got the TOMS scheme, I'm doing a very similar business, I should be allowed to do the TOMS scheme. So it's one argument that really strengthens our case here. Whether or not more UK tour operators are going to be starting to apply for the TOMS scheme is yet to be seen, but I think after seeing this, there's going to be a lot more people with a lot more confidence now applying for it. So if you're not using the TOMS scheme already, it's well worth revisiting. Take a look at it, speak to your accountant, find out if it's something you're comfortable applying for. And if you want to see what I'm going to do with these green plants, watch my future videos, and I'll see you next time.